If you found yourself in the middle of the holiday season questioning some traditions and thought to yourself, why are we even doing this? But felt a little bit trapped because of your own expectations and maybe your family's, I get you. I've been there, and we're going to break this down and become free from the traditions that no longer serve us. If you and I have not met, my name is Emma Lou with thrivingmom.com. I'm so glad you're here. We as mothers deserve to thrive in the holiday season with traditions that serve us and our families beyond just what has been handed to us by default. It's a blessing to be able to take traditions from generation to generation, but each generation does have the freedom to reevaluate how this is serving our family, right? I'm going to share some personal stories of what some of those traditions were for us and how we evolved and changed those. So back in the day, we used to always do a lot of gifts around the holiday season. We thought that was just the bee's knees. It was fun. And in fact, it was a little bit of wrapped up in the sense of like, the bigger the gift, the more that person must love me, right? If you can identify, let me know. And maybe you're still in that space. If you are, there's no judgment. We all start somewhere, right? But at some point in our family, we felt a shift, we felt a change, and we no longer desired to have all these lists of names we were gift shopping for. We no longer desire to be left at the store trying to randomly grab a gift that the person we're giving it to will, put on their garage sale during the summer, and it's literally not really that valuable to them. We sat down as a family and we had a conversation. Now, you might be a person that's like, well, I couldn't have that conversation because so-and-so just, that's okay. Let's break it down and let's step ourselves through how we can just look at this tradition and be curious versus putting our own obstacles and I can't and all that stuff into it. So we had a conversation and we were just honest and said, actually, we would like to stop the pressure of gifting during the holiday season, and asked individuals if it honestly really means something to them. And as we had a discussion as a family unit, this was my side of the family. So it was some extended family as well. It wasn't just Richard and me and the boys. We uncovered that it was something we'd like to change. It's something that we no longer want to have as part of our Christmas time together. But it felt odd because each year there was a bunch of Christmas presents wrapped underneath the tree and waiting for us to unwrap them, right? So we had to redecide what that space looked like in that time frame. So we now today have incorporated other traditions in that spot that we absolutely love. Now, when we shifted from that tradition of giving each person a gift, finding one for your mom, your dad, your husband, your brother-in-law, your sister, and all the things, when we transitioned, my mom 1 year had that just like, oh, you know what? She would love to do something completely unexpected. She'd like to do something that we've never done before that was just kind of off the cuff. She felt inspired to go buy a bunch of like little meaningful gifts. And I'm not talking just random like gadgets. These were things like she knew as kids like favorite snacks. Now we're all adults, we're married, we have our own households. She went and she bought like some of our favorite snacks. She had, assortment of beef jerky on the table that she bought for the guys, and maybe some of my sister and I's favorite oils, and maybe some gift cards for some of our places that we shop at. There's just some basics that us as adults consume and enjoy. And she put it all into like just this big basket and it was unwrapped, and we played bingo. The baskets were in that. She put it on the table and it was just this big pile of open, unwrapped things. And we played bingo, and then each person could pick out. So we had incorporated a game and just these fun little like snacks and things she loved when she was buying them at the store. She loved to do it. So it was an inspiration. Now, did she continue to do that every year? No. She just did that for maybe 1 or 2 years that she felt inspired to do that. It was just kind of an unexpected bonus, and it was done from the overflow of the holiday season versus a tradition of We need to get 50 gifts for our entire family to really show them that we do love them, while we're actually not present, while we're actually just in chaos, while we're wrapping presents at midnight and crying because we just don't know who we're going to get what for. We feel like we're busting the budget, right? Like, does that sound like something that is serving us? No. So those are the things that we get to evaluate and we get to choose. Now, this is also the very reason that I started unpacking the chaos and the busyness that usually accompanies the holiday season. And if you've been around the block a time or two, you know that most months include holidays, birthdays, and so forth, right? The holiday season at the end of the year is just amped up to the nth degree. And oftentimes parents are left in a chaos, overwhelmed trap that by the time January hits, they're not running after pursuing some New Year's resolutions that are actually realistic. They're just trying to reconnect with where they were at a starting point before the holidays, right? So this is where I became very diligent to unpack what it looked like for us as a family when I was running major business and when I became a mom, so that we could truly thrive and enjoy the holiday rhythms, tradition that we could host from the abundance of who we were as a family. It was not a facade. It wasn't out of the, oh gosh, I created this amazing feast, but secretly I was crying in the pantry the day before, completely overwhelmed, wondering how I was going to get it all done, right? That's when the reality of no longer settling for the default that shows up when we don't know what to say yes to and what to say no to. And it also flips the switch where you can actually say yes to having a day of making cinnamon rolls with your sister and your mom just because. Not because it's a tradition that you have to do every year, but it happens out of the overflow because you can. You have the time. That's exactly why I created the Thriving Holiday Blueprint. It has 5 to 10 minute videos in a course that steps you through how to create the foundations to set you up for holiday success, beyond the chaos, beyond the overwhelm, and truly thrive. Is it just for the holiday season at the end of the year? No. Sweetheart, it works all year round for all those birthdays. For us, we also have a lot of birthdays in the mix at the end of the year with, I have a son that has a birthday the first part of December and all of that. That's why I created the Holiday Thriving Blueprint. So if you want access, you can have access for $20. It includes the exact Chat GPT prompts, that's a tongue twister, that I use to turn Chat GPT into my personal holiday assistant. Yes, it includes how you can prompt it to help you with meal planning, gifts, writing those polite no's, NOS, as in no, we will not be attending this event, and do it in a sincere, kind-hearted way. With that, it helps take the mental overload out of your brain, and it's like that little elf in your pocket. It's a personal assistant you've been wondering where it's at, and you can get it for $20. I'll add the link below. It really, that $20 is like, I don't know, when you have holiday chaos, you blow a lot of money unnecessarily, and not just money, time, energy, and your kids wonder which version of their parents going to show up this season. You see, you and I as moms have been called to a higher standard, and that is to lead our home with a calm confidence, not by perfection, but as the leaders we're called to do. We are raising the next generation. We want to be those grandmas sitting on our rocking chairs, rehearsing the good old days of remembering do you remember when we baked those cinnamon rolls with our 2-year-old and a 4-year-old and my sister and my mom, and we were fully present? We were fully present. If you are a mom and you love to be part of a movement with women that are going beyond the default that happens in motherhood, I invite you to like and subscribe to the Thriving Mom channel so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. And I've done some videos prior that are part of this Thriving Through the Holidays series. So if you missed those, go back and rewatch them. And I'd love to see you inside the Thriving Holidays Blueprint. And I'll give you my exact Chat GPT prompts. It's all for $20. I can't wait to see you on the inside. And if you could Do me a favor as a thank you for the video content I'm dropping on YouTube. Can you introduce yourselves and let me know the aha moments that you have as you're watching this video? I'd like to know who's watching. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye.